It's time to burn through another subclass from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
I see what you did there, Ted. It's time for another Druid subclass. This time it's Circle of the Wildfire.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
And I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds.
Now it's time to turn up the heat for this video.
All right, so as we stated, this time we are going to be talking about Circle of Wildfire. Which is all about rejuvenation, destruction, the whole cycle of life thing there. Rebirth, death is kind of like the vibe that I get from this particular circle.
Yeah, the Circle of Wildfire is an interesting one, and it does kind of go with that concept of things are rejuvenated through flame. It is why we do have, forest fires every once in a while, is so that the old and dead things that are not really doing much for life are burnt, and then the ashes wind up offering more nutrients back into the soil. So we thought, this would be, a good one to talk about. We actually had a Circle of Wildfire Druid while it was still just UA in my RPG Crate game. I think that was season 4. It was played by, V from Crafting Muse, who did an excellent job with it. And, when you're a druid that likes to set things on fire, you can't imagine the antics that are going to come up.
Speaking of antics, every week we get up to antics over on Nerdarchy, the newsletter, which you can sign up for down in the description below. There's a link. And basically, you're just going to get more, RPG, 5e content, as well as news, homebrews, and just the general nerdiness that is Nerdarchy delivered right to your inbox. You also get a special coupon code for our store that gives you $9.99 in store credit.
So druids within the Circle of Wildfire understand that destruction is sometimes the precursor of creation. Such as when a forest fire promotes later growth, these druids bond with a primal spirit that harbors both destructive and creative power, allowing the druids to create controlled flames that burn away one thing, but give life to another.
So the question is, we've seen it, get used in our own games, but have you seen it used in your game? Are you playing a Wildfire Druid? Do you want to? Why don't you let us know down in the comments below and share it with the Nerdarchy community?
While you're down there, don't forget to do those things that make Nerdarchy and YouTube happy. Click that like, that share, that subscribe, even attune to that notification bell.
And as a quick reminder, new Nerdarchy videos drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so come on back to the channel.
So a lot of druids get circle spells. You have formed a bond with a wildfire spirit, a primal being of creation and destruction. Your link with the spirit grants you access to some spells when you reach certain levels in this class, as shown in the Circle of Wildfire's table. Once you gain access to one of these spells, you always have it prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare each day. If you gain access to a spell that doesn't appear on the druid spell list, the spell is nonetheless a druid spell for you. So at 2nd level, you get Burning Hands and Cure Wounds.
3rd level, we got Flaming Sphere, Scorching Ray.
At 5th level, you get Plant Growth and Revivify.
7th, Aura Life and Fire Shield.
And at 9th level, you get Flame Strike and Mass Cure Wounds.
That's a pretty solid selection of spells that you're going to just always have available to you. I know some people got a little salty on the internets because I believe at 5th level, they used to get Fireball. I am not sure which of the spells Fireball replaced.
I want to say that it was like Fireball and Revivify or but yeah, losing Fireball definitely hurt a lot of people. It was very cool to have a druid be able to have Fireball. But it's
if the cleric can have Fireball, why can't the druid? Good. I mean, that stinks a little bit, but all in all, it's a decent list. It's a good variety. You've got, utility, healing, and damage spells in there.
There's enough fire amongst those levels to really, sink in, the feeling that this is a fire-based class. But the combination of the rejuvenation, plant growth, aura of life, cure wounds, it fits. You have got the balance in your hands with what you do with this class. So I think
you can wield the powers of life and death.
Yeah, essentially.
So at second level, we're not done. We get some more stuff. We get Summon Wildfire Spirit. You can summon the primal spirit bound to your soul. As an action, you can expend one use of your wild shape feature to summon your wildfire spirit rather than assuming a beast form. A spirit appears in an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. Each creature within 10 feet of the spirit, other than you, when it appears, must succeed a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC or take 2d6 fire damage. The spirit is friendly to you and your companions and obeys your commands. See if this creature, see this creature's game statistics and Wildfire Spirit stat block, which uses your proficiency bonus in several places. You determine the spirit's appearance. Some of the spirits take the form of humanoid figure made of gnarled branches covered in flames, while others look like beasts wreathed in fire. So it's a small elemental. It is armor class 13. It has 5 times your druid level in hit points. It has got a move speed of 30, fly speed of 30, and hover. It's got immunity to fire. That would make sense. You can't charm, frighten, grapple, make it prone, or restrain it. It can see. It has dark vision, 60 feet. Understands the languages you speak, and Flame Seed is one of its actions. It's a ranged weapon attack. Your spell attack modifier to hit, range 60 feet. One target you can see does a die 6 plus your proficiency bonus and fire damage. Fiery teleportation is another action it has. Spirit and each willing creature of your choice within 5 feet of it teleports up to 15 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Then each creature within 5 feet of the space that the spirit left must succeed on a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC or take die 6 fire damage plus your proficiency bonus. In combat, the spirit shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. The only action it takes on its turn is the dodge action, unless you use a bonus action on your turn to command it to take another action. That action can be one in the stat block or some other action. If you are incapacitated, the spirit can take any action of its choice, not just dodge. The spirit manifests for 1 hour until it is reduced to 0 hit points, or until you use this feature to summon the spirit again, or until you die.
So I love this. It's definitely a lot of fun. I like seeing the expanded use of the Druid's wild shape ability to do something other than take the form of an animal or a beast, I should say. So to have this be able to be called out using that particular feature, definitely a lot of fun, definitely thematic. And it's a fun little thing that you can, really burn things away with. It's got some pretty good abilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to give you some utility and mobility on the battlefield with that fiery teleportation, as well as being able to damage an area. You get a decent ranged attack from it. It's just an extra attack, every round for you as a bonus action. So, all in all, it's good. And thematically, it's cool. And I like the idea of the things you can do with it. The idea of summoning a beast or something that looks like a beast. It's like made of fire, and its ranged attack might be it like shooting fire laser beams from its eyes or a breath weapon out of its mouth. So, yeah, pretty cool.
A lot of fun things. At 6th level, you're going to get Enhanced Bond. The bond with your Wildfire Spirit enhances your destructive and restorative spells. When you cast a spell that deals fire damage or restores hit points while your Wildfire Spirit is summoned, roll a d8, and you gain a bonus equal to the number rolled to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell. In addition, when you cast a spell with a range other than self, the spell can originate from you or your Wildfire Spirit. Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's just going to increase your range by a lot because you can send that thing out there. It can fly. It can move around. Your spell casting is so much more mobile now. You don't have to be close to things to heal them. Depending on what the range is. I don't know if that applies to any of them, but it does definitely give you some options.
Yeah, a lot of fun there. So what's next?
Next up, we have Cauterizing Flames at 10th level. Gain the ability to turn death into magical flames that can heal or incinerate. When a small or large creature dies within 30 feet of you or your Wildfire Spirit, a harmless spectral flame springs forth in the dead creature's space and flickers there for 1 minute. When a creature you can see enters that space, you can use your reaction to extinguish the spectral flames there and either heal the creature or deal fire damage to it. The healing or damage equals 2d10 plus your wisdom modifier. You can use this reaction number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you gain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This, again, speaks to the mobility and utility of this particular circle, especially on the battlefield. You're going to be able to do a lot of control effects. So you can either get allies to run through these flames, you can knock enemies into them, or have your companions do it, and then you get to do extra damage.
This is, this is just supreme versatility, and it allows you to play a little bit more tactically. You should be telling your allies about your abilities. So when your allies fell an enemy, step into the space, move forward, and then just bloop. All that damage, can just get healed and move on. Or as Dave says, knock an enemy back, into the dying or dead enemy. It's just great. It's just a lot of fun. But lastly, we have Blazing Revival, 14th level. The bond with your Wildfire spirit can save you from death. If the spirit is within 120 feet of you when you are reduced to 0 hit points and thereby fall unconscious, you can cause the spirit to drop to 0 hit points. You then regain half of your hit points and immediately rise to your feet. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest.
So this is like the half works ability, Relentless Endurance on crack, right? So instead of getting dropped and only going the 1 hit point, instead you go half your hit points back. Cost you a wild shape, but that could be the difference between victory and defeat in battle.
Oh yeah, I mean, having your spirit, regardless of how many hit points it has left, I will always, you go to 0, I'm gonna get back up, hands down. I'll just call you again later.
Yeah, it just makes sense. I don't know, folks. What do you think? Are you playing this in your games? What do you think of the abilities? Are you salty about Fireball? Let us know. While you're at it, if you want another video on Tasha's, check out Druid Circle of Stars.
If you'd like to help support us to keep making videos like this, head over to Patreon and check us out there.
As a thank you, you'll receive monthly 5e content for players and DMs alike, a chance to game with us, and more.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.